Medical marijuana licenses give users the right to carry and smoke pot for the treatment of health conditions, but those licenses don't give users the right to drive while high on drugs. The legal experts at Jansen and Alfrey say anyone, including medical marijuana users, can be charged with DUI if they're caught behind the wheel while high on drugs. And the laws are about to get even more tough. Jansen and Alfrey, attorneys at law, are members of the Colorado and Denver Bar Association. They belong to the Colorado Criminal Defense Bar and the National College of DUI Defense Attorneys, and they have no complaints registered with the Better Business Bureau. Molly Jansen and Kurt Alfrey join us this morning. Thank you both for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, let's talk about medical marijuana, because a lot of people are confused a little bit about it because they have a license and they think this license gives them the privilege to do whatever they want, but that's really not the case.
It's like having a prescription for narcotics you get from your druggist. You can't drive on some of those things. The old don't operate heavy machinery. Same thing with marijuana. If it's affecting you to the point that you can't drive safely, you can't.
Right, so let's talk about that then. So if you are driving after you've smoked some marijuana, it's in your system, you get pulled over, you're going to be charged with a crime.
Well, it kind of depends on, right now, the way that the law stands is it's driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. There isn't a distinction. It's a combination of both or one or the other. What that means is that right now, if you take a urine test or a blood test and marijuana is in your system at any level, nothing is going to happen with you at the Department of Motor Vehicles, but in court you are going to be charged with a DUI. Generally not impaired, it's generally straight up driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And so ultimately, you know, we see clients even on Percocet or, you know, Ativan, some of those sort of heavy narcotics, we see them get charged with it, you know, because they've got a prescription in the car. The cop says, have you taken this? Yes. And then you're off and running. So essentially the answer is yes, you're going to get charged.
All right. And now legislation, though, is going to be changing here pretty soon.
That's correct. They're creating a new driving under the influence of drugs law that's going to be coming into effect in July. And what that did is it broke out marijuana specifically, and it said if you've got a blood test with 5 nanograms or more, you're going to be DUI. And so that nanograms is giving us an idea of when you smoked and how much you smoked, so that the argument of, well, I'm a chronic smoker, I smoke all the time, isn't going to really work, because that nanogram is going to give us a more time-specific analysis of when you smoke marijuana.
Now, with these changes in the law, if someone does get pulled over and charged either with drinking and driving or with driving with the influence of marijuana in their system, they really probably need to contact an attorney, because it is so complicated and it's so new.
Yeah, call a lawyer. You know, I mean, here's the bottom line is don't wait till the day before your court date. And if you're charged with a crime, call a lawyer. Find out what your rights are, have a free consultation, figure out what you need to do. Going through this process, I don't care if it's a speeding ticket or whether it's homicide, you need a lawyer. It's just really kind of that simple, in my opinion. You
know, Kurt, are you seeing an increase in drug-related crimes?
Well, you know, in the DUID and the marijuana realm, simply because there are, at least apparently, more users, it seems at this point, and there, as you said, a little confusion about what you can and can't do with a license. You know, so we've certainly seen a bit more of that.
And really, anyone that's applying for one of these medical marijuana licenses, I mean, you're seeing that the state's really giving them away.
I have found lots of different creative reasons why people have medicinal marijuana licenses. I think the number one thing I want to sort of send out today is you may have a medicinal marijuana license, but it doesn't mean that you can smoke and drive. It's you still have to be cautious and cognizant of the fact that you may be impaired, you may be under the influence, and your license doesn't give you the right to go out and put the community at risk. So be very careful about that, and you know, make some smart decisions.
Yeah, so if you are a smoker or a chronic smoker, whatever the case may be, you do have a license, to understand that you still have to follow the law, and if you don't, you will be charged with a crime.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today and sharing this information. I'm going to tell our viewers how they can get a hold of you.
Thanks.
Jansen and Alfrey wants to ensure that you're represented fairly and informed about the charges against you before you make a bad decision. They're a criminal defense law firm, and they handle everything from traffic offenses to domestic violence to DUI to major felonies. Call them at 303-297-3500 or visit their website at jansenalfrey.com. They offer free consultations. The number again is 303-297-3500.